how you write your rules is going to set the tone for the whole group. Does that make sense? If you are like super uptight and like the way that you write your rules is like, this is going to be, you know, don't be a square peg in my round hole, right? Like you don't want to like, then that's the type of people that you're going to get in your group. If you write your rules like loosey goosey, kind of fun, they're going to know that that's going to be the atmosphere of the group, right? So make sure that your rules, the way that they're written, because that's the first thing that they're going to see, especially if you have a private group, that's all they're going to see is the rules, right? So make sure that your rules are in alignment with what you want the overall feeling of the group to be. I've told you guys 1,000 times, like my neighborhood Facebook group, literally my rules are like, don't be an asshole. And like, we are not going to talk about white vans, solar sales people, dog poop on lawns. Like my group rules say that because I want people to know, like, this is a positive environment. We're going to talk about awesome things about our community, not about the stuff that you talk about on Nextdoor. And then it literally says that if you want to talk about this, please go to Nextdoor. Because I want them to know, like, because everybody knows, right? There's like a very clear divide between what happens there and what happens here. So don't be afraid to put your personality into that. You're not going to like everybody. You know, a perfect example, I think, and if it was somebody in this group, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but we got some feedback about our Rhinestone Cowgirl conference, right? And I mean, a lot of it was amazing, which is great. But then like we had somebody that said that the theme was overwhelming. And I'm like, girlfriend, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just how we roll around here. So if you don't like it, then I'm sorry. But like, maybe go to Inman. Like, I'm not saying that in a mean way, but I'm just saying if you want like that really strict real estate business only, you know, deal, then, you know, you're welcome to come, but please, that's just how we do it here. Right. And so that's okay. That's okay to have, because when you have your vibe so strong, you're going to attract the people that do appreciate it. Right. And those people are going to go really deep with you. And those are going to be the people that actually do business with you in the future.
I knew you were going there. I was like, ooh, she's going there. This is going to be great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is, and it is what it is. Right. And so you can't please everybody. What do we say? You're not ice cream or tacos. You can't please everybody.
Yeah.
True. So there's that piece. Go ahead.
And at the end of the day, when you create these rules, you also have to abide by them, right? Like, I think that's really important because what you stand by and stand up for and what you won't tolerate is what you'll attract to, right? So if you have these rules and you don't enforce them, they're just going to walk all over you and they're going to run your group for you, right? So for example, enforcing the rules, it literally, like Tara says right here in this slide, enforcing these rules is going to buy you trust. And so again, another example for you ladies, we don't deal with catty hose. You guys know that. We don't deal with this. And it says it in our rules, like we will kick you out instantly if you're going to act like that, go somewhere else, because we're not going to put up with it. This is a positive group, right? And what do? We instantly will rip people out the second they start to get like that to someone else and start tearing them down, because we're not going to tolerate it. And so what happens when we do that is those of you that are also standing behind that rule with us appreciate it even more, and we've earned even more trust from you. Right. So no matter what your rules are, you do have to stand by them and know that, like, if it's going to offend somebody because you stand by your rules, then they're probably not your people anyways.
Right. And I think what you'll find too, as you gain that trust and you create that atmosphere inside your community and your community knows what you stand for, they'll start coming to the rescue for you. So like when somebody does something that's outside of the culture within your group, they're going to be like, hold up, no. And then you're going to watch. You don't even have to say anything anymore because everybody else in your group that appreciates what you are doing is going to come and have your back anyway. So
just like you ladies,
cool. Yeah.
Just like you ladies come to our rescue when somebody doesn't act right. You guys put them in shape real quick for us. Sometimes we're like, okay, maybe we don't even have to step in. This is great.
We do appreciate that. By
It's
the way.
funny because we got a group chat, we got a side chat going 26 hours a day. So we'll see a screenshot and we're like, hold on, let's watch that. And then all of a sudden the community like just steps in. We're like, yes, these girls are awesome.
Yeah. But the reason we're spending so much time on this though is because the culture of your group is going to make what is going to make people stay and what's going to make people engage, right? And so you can't have this like bland vanilla culture inside of your group, because then you're just like every other Facebook group that's out there. You have to have some personality into it, and you have to kind of have like, again, a vibe.
You almost have to go over the top with online communities with your culture and your vibe, because you don't have that face to face so that people can hear it. That's why the candor and the tone and all that is so important. So when you think it's too much, honestly, maybe step it up one or two rings, and that's probably where you need to be.
It's opposite of the jewelry rule, right? Don't they say like take one piece off before you go, girl, put a couple more in, like a couple more earrings.
Stack those bracelets. Let's go.
So now for suggestions, right? So you guys, if you haven't run a group before, you probably don't even know where to start with the rules. Facebook gives you some general rules that you can start with. Even if you agree with the premise behind those rules, I would suggest that you change the wording around just a little bit so that it doesn't just look, again, like some canned thing that they show up and they see the same group rules that they see every place else. Even if the idea behind the rule is the same, just reword it in your own rules. The things that we have noticed inside of groups that you have to like put a stop to right away is no advertising except. Otherwise, you're going to get every freaking duck cleaning company, every dry cleaner, every taco truck is just going to be going. They're going to be dumping their ads and then they're going to run. They're not going to give. They're not going to be a valuable member of their group. They're just going to use your group, right? And especially as you get bigger, you have to really be focused on, okay, what is the value that my group is getting when they're coming here? So we talked about it a minute yesterday, but like a great way to get around that is to do Small Business Saturday or Small Business Sunday, something like that, that allows people to market themselves, but in a designated thread or on a designated day, however you want to do it, because that way you're not the biatch that's like, oh, sorry, you can't post your group here. Like I only get to post my stuff here. You can say, no, we definitely want you to advertise. It's just that we have this thread on Saturdays that is designated for that. So give them an outlet and then they'll use it and it's great. And then on Saturday, you have the algorithm as your friend because you've got tons of posts and tons of likes and tons of comments. And then on Sunday, you post something that you want to be seen because now the algorithm is loving your group on that day. Does that make sense? So utilize the ups and downs of that. So no advertising except no DMs. This is a big one. Even if you don't understand it, just put it in your group rules because inevitably there's going to be some jerk that comes in and wants to incessantly DM everybody. And if you don't have it as a rule that they can't do it, you can't really kick them out without them being mad, right? Because they're going to come back and they're going to say, well, you didn't say I couldn't DM people. So if you just put it in the group rules from the beginning, and again, you're protecting, I mean, I know it still happens. Unfortunately, in our group, people don't follow the rules. And some of you guys probably still get DMs, but for the most part, they know that that's the rule, right? So, and then we can kick somebody out. Right? If they're trying to sell or take advantage of you girls, it's easy for us to say, you said you weren't going to DM people and you did. And so now you're out, sis. Right?
Yeah, it's easier to abide by your rules that way and tell them like, hey, I don't even have to give you a warning because you agreed to the group rules and it's in the group rules, right? And back to Tara, your point about takers, that's the thing. That's why you want to make these group rules because just like you guys have seen, we stand hard on the no referral pods because those people are literally just takers. They're not here to have community with each other. They're not here to pour back in. They're not here to actually share and open up their playbook and give successful tips. They're there for themselves. They're there to get their own referrals and that's it. So it's the same thing in your groups. No matter what your group is, you want to protect the culture because inevitably there is always, always, always people who just take. And that's going to help you weed those takers out. And I want to comment on something. Tracy made a comment. She says she has a setting to approve all her posts. That's great up until your point, your group gets to a certain size. And then you can no longer do that because if we did that, we would be approving posts like every 10, 15 minutes. And we just don't have time to sit on our group page and constantly be approving all the posts, but that might be something that works for you guys. I will be cautious about that. if you have a long day and you're with an out-of-state client and you've got 6 hours of showing lined up, that might not be the best thing, because people are going in there to engage in your group and they want instant engagement. Facebook also rewards you for that instant engagement. So the more that people engage, the more that the post will pop off, the faster your group grows.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So as your group grows, you might want to take, consideration into removing that rule for that reason, maybe hire a VA. I don't know, but there's lots of things that you can do for that specific reason, because you want that engagement. Facebook rewards you.
I think if you filter on the front end too, if you filter who's coming into the group, there's less worry about the post content, right? Like if your group is public, I can totally see why you would want to approve every post, because you don't know who the heck's in there. So it's kind of like you kind of have to pick which side you want to filter on.
No, good point. No realtors. I know that that's another question too. I've told you inside my neighborhood Facebook group, I allow realtors just because I feel like that's their neighborhood too. And so I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. But if I were to go out and start a networking group, I probably would not allow other real estate agents unless you personally know them. And even then, it's probably not worth it. I'm telling you, girls, I mean, this Girls with Grit. And this is the thing, we keep referring back to Girls with Grit. There is literally no reason that your community group could not grow to the size of Girls with Grit and the impact of Girls with Grit. Like every single one of you, especially in this room, is capable of doing that. So you got to think that big when you're starting out, how you're going to start and you're running your group, because once you allow people in, you can't turn around and change that rule, right? So with realtors, the thing about it is that they sneaky about the way they screw you, right? So like they don't do it like right on the front page, right? They're not in the comments saying, oh, I'd love to help you. What they do is they wait for that post to happen, and then they go around behind your back and they DM them and they say, oh, I saw that you were looking to sell your condo. And then they'll try to be real cute about it. If Tara doesn't work out for you, make sure to give me a call. I'd love to help you, right? So that they look like they're being all kosher, but it's like that little like side jab, right? Like, and so, and that's how it works in these groups. And so Ashley, me too. So I'm just saying, unfortunately, there's a small percentage of agents that are going to behave the way that you would hope that they would behave. And so the best thing is just say no. Like, just say no. I'm sorry, but this group, is not going, we don't allow realtors in this group. Here's a different group you could be a part of, right? Oh gosh, straight. I just updated a rule. No Karens or Kens. I love that. Okay.
That's like what you've said before, Tara. Like that is literally the equivalent of being at an open house and letting other agents be in there with you, like working the buyers that come through the door. So if you think about it like that, I think that's a good analogy.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about a Facebook group is if that agent doesn't like it, go start your own. Go
Totally can. Yeah, that's the thing.
You can do your own thing.